The next panel that we have is about the data revolution. IBM estimates that we produce over 2.5 exabytes of data every day, and this is expected to multiply with the data produced by the Internet of Things. The potential of big data is the relationships it can reveal, measuring, analyzing, and understanding the interactions that users and machines have across multiple touch points every day. This panel looks at the potential of the data economy and the requirements and challenges of implementing data-driven projects and the opportunities that will emerge for innovators and entrepreneurs. Please welcome onto the stage our moderator for this panel, Ms. Alia Badreldin, IBM Cloud Ecosystem and Partnership Innovation Lead for Middle East and Africa at IBM, and her panel members.
So I walk into a data revolution session with a CD-ROM, right? So talking about data, I don't think it's very relevant, but we will get to the point where why do I have a CD-ROM with me now? So let me start with a game and challenge to everyone in the room. Those for you who use Twitter, hands up please. Twitter users? Okay, excellent. Keep your hands up. Have you tweeted today? So keep your hands up if you have tweeted today. Hands down if you have not. Okay, lots of people still having their hands up. Excellent. Have you tweeted more than one time today? Keep your hand up. Have you tweeted more than 2 times today? Keep your hands up. More than 3, 5? Others that have tweeted 10 times like myself? Okay, only me now. Okay, so, and Dima, of course. Okay, so just a guess game, right? How many tweets do you think globally we produce every day? Those who think it's 100,000, hands up. More than 100,000? Okay, can I hear some numbers? Is it 200,000, 500,000? Million, okay. Anyone more than 1 million? Billion. Wow, that's ambitious. Okay, it is 50 million tweets a day worldwide that we produce. Okay, so talking about a revolution of data. Emails, I personally get 100 emails a day, and that's only the professional emails. Can anyone in the room top up my emails count? Anyone has more than 100? Okay, Rekha, how many do you get a day? Wow, that is a record on your own, Rekha. Okay, so worldwide, every second, we have 2.9 million emails generated. Okay, that is only in 1 second. Okay, YouTube, 20 hours of video is being uploaded every minute. How many orders are being put on Amazon per second? How many orders? Any guess? Per second worldwide? 10? 15? 20? 72.9 orders are being put every second worldwide on Amazon. I could have said 73, right? Google processes 3.5 billion inquiries a day, right? So if this is not data revolution, I don't know what is. I think in the past few years, we've seen data progressing in very disruptive ways, be it structured, unstructured, dark data, and it's coming from sources we never had before. And back to my CD, we have enough world data that we can that CD-ROMs can take from here up to the moon 20 times over. So that is data revolution. So I'd like to ask you to join me in welcoming our panelists today. Please join me on stage, and I will be introducing them. So, Mr. Mohammed Sadi, welcome. Mr. Mohammed Sadi is the CEO of Business Development and Strategy Sector of Department of Economic Development in Dubai Government. Mr. Mohammed has a strategic role in maintaining a competitive business development in Dubai in the line of the Emirates' reputation as a business hub and investment destination. So, welcome, Mr. Mohammed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pedro Perriere, Digital Innovation and Smart Cities Leader in SAP in EMEA. And Pedro is deeply involved in Smart Cities initiative across the region and also has a passion for entrepreneurial and with a background, and we will get to that shortly, right?
Thank
Where you
very
can
much.
share your story. Welcome, Pedro.
Thank you.
So, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum said, and I quote, "Our aim is not to have the most data, but to unleash the greatest value from data, creating new opportunities and improved experiences for all." I would like to get your views on it and what plans we have to date.
Thank you very much, Alia. Thank you very much for having me and giving me this opportunity to speak to the elite audience in here. Before I start answering the question, you've been raising the CD every time just to see that she was born in 2000. But I remember my first gift from my mom was iPhone 3. I was 3 years old at that time. So, yes.
No, I did. I'm a generation of tapes, right? So even older than CD-ROM.
All right, okay. But for you to know that I was born 10 years ago, so my first phone was iPhone 3. I'm here today, first of all, just to talk about the economy side of the data, but because Mr. Yunus is not able today to come, he was held on lots of things with regards to happiness index. So I'll try to help in that direction.
Thank you very much.
I was part of Dubai Open Data Committee, so I know some information, but the guru of this is Mr. Yunus. If we look at the history, when I talk about history, I talk about my history, not Alia's history. I'm talking about 1999 all the way to today. Most of you heard of this. 1999, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed has announced the Dubai e-government, and 1 year after that, Dubai Internet City, Dubai Media City, electronic government strategy, all the way up until 2013. That was in May 23rd. May 23rd, 2013. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed has a very famous photo taking a mobile from his pocket and raising it up. And he said to all ministers for the federal government department, but anything he says about federal, that applies to the local departments too, especially here in Dubai. He said, if I don't see federal government department moving from traditional transactions to smart transaction in 2 years' time, not me, him, will do a nice farewell party for all ministers.
Correct.
And from that time until last year, all ministers, from top all the way down, they were running like horses in Dubai World Race Cup. Everybody was running. Now, the message was very strong, telling them that, guys, we are moving from where we are right now to a different domain. And I need everybody to move with me at the same pace. I do not want any excuses because we don't have time to excuse ourselves with anything. Prior to this, we as the local departments, we sometimes had lots of interaction with the federal government, and they were having their own different priorities, agendas. And this is not a bad agenda, it's an excellent agenda because they are looking at different domain than what we do here in Dubai. And because Dubai here, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi are linked directly or indirectly with the federal government department, we faced lots of problems in exchanging data. especially when it comes to federal data and local departments would like to access those federal data. From that time until 2015, May, TRA reported to His Highness and to the cabinet that almost everybody is moving with different pace. So those who doesn't have any computers at that time, they used to have a manual traditional ledger, moved at least from that to cloud. So they were the first guys to jump into a local cloud in here. They were even before us in Dubai in here. Why? Because they were having nothing and they moved to the next new technology. Us here in Dubai, we were very happy of that movement, so we interacted with them hugely. In 2015, His Highness set another new bar. And he said, by the end of 2017, I need Dubai to be the smartest and the happiest city on earth. And now the problem with the word smartest, the problem is not with the on earth. Now, if you look at the smartest, means that we are talking about an interaction in the brain. So lots of interaction happens in the brain, we don't realize it. So if I raise my hand up, so many interactions happens in here in order for me to take my hand and put it up. And that's what he meant. If he did not say smartest, means that we will look at the benchmark internationally and we'll, for example, look at how Brazil did when it comes to waste and became the smartest city on waste management or traffic, or like Santander in Spain or other cities. They've got a very nice smart applications when it comes to a sector. The problem with this is, if, for example, he said, I want to be the smartest city on traffic, who will be bombarded with every day's pressure? Mr. Matar Attayar. Mr. Matar Attayar, he's the CEO and the Director General of RTA. Mr. Sami Al-Gamzi, my boss, Mr. Hussein, will be laughing on Mr. Matar Attayar. Why? Because their hand in a cold water and that poor guy is running. But when he said the smartest, he was meaning that smartest and happiest is the interaction between government and non-government department has to reach a level of happiness, not smartest. So the aim of that statement is to reach a happiness. Now, to reach a happiness, you need to go to the smallest building block. And the smallest building block in happiness is data.
Correct.
And for that, we did not have a law that allows government department in Dubai to interact with themselves when it comes for exchanging and sharing their data. There is nothing like this. So for this, we need to create a law overriding all old existing laws, which says that now as a government department, this is not your data. This is a city data. And because it's a city data, so you don't have an ownership over it, but what you have is a legal right of its quality and integrity. So now all government departments in Dubai, they do not own the data. The data is owned by the city. What are those government department role is to make sure that the quality of data, the integrity of data, credibility of data is maintained. And that's it. Now, by doing that, what will happen? Normally, if you look at the best practices in the world, you will find private sector is jumping and then followed by the government. Now, if we do it in here, still the problem with the trust issue. How come I am asked to open my data, and when I need some data from the government will reluct to give me this data. So the law said, first who open the data, government. And that's what the message we received, at least not from His Highness, but the direction we received from the top management. Almost 90% of government data has to be open. Now, opening the data, you need to classify it, you need to look at it, you need to look at those data which you are going to open should not intervene or contract with existing laws, like a privacy law, criminal law, medical law. You need to look at it for that. Otherwise, the data will be open. We finished that law last year, October 2015, and that law is in effect. It took an effect immediately once it's established. Dr. Asha, Her Excellency, with the team, Mr. Wissam Luta, Mr. Yunus Al-Rayes, they've been looking at the government department, and they were road showing this law and the importance of this law, not to the society, for them as a government department. Now, most of the government department, for example, I'll give you a small example if you allow me to give this example. If, for example, any government department or private sector would like to understand the consumer behavior, and they want to do some analysis on sort of product or services in the Emirate of Dubai, where they should go and get this information. Any information, you'll get it from Dubai Statistical Department. It is based on some modeling. Then you need to move to another place where they have some aggregate information like Visa card or MasterCard. But the problem with the Visa card and MasterCard, they'll give you a lump sum information. So they will not tell you, for example, me, Muhammad, when I went to Shwitram or Lulu Center or Carrefour, what did I buy? It will tell me, Muhammad visited the point of sale in Carrefour at that time, in that second, and he spent 10,000 dirhams. I wish. Now, that 10,000 dirhams is, none of us will understand and will know what exactly did we buy. This is number one. Number two, the cash information is not being captured. Now, if I want to have a Dubai-wide study on consumer behavior and I do analysis on top of it, I need to contact each vendor one by one. Now, this is not for the government, by the way. This is for the private sector. So for SMEs, for example, for those small incubated businesses, if I want to create an app which will facilitate the citizen and resident's life, when it comes, for example, for grocery, and I want to compare where should I go to buy those type of grocery, I will not get this information, right? And people will start coming to us and say, guys, you are government, and you said open data. This is as simple as data is not available. How can you claim that this is a smart city? So such information is very vital for everybody, for the economy, for the society, for the businesses, and as well as for the government.
Absolutely, and I think this sets a new horse race on its own.
Yes.
So, Pedro, I would like to get your view from a technology perspective, right? How technology now enables open data and smart cities to happen with all the sophistications and the next horse race that Mr. Mohammed has shared with us.
Sure. First of all, thank you very much, ArabNet, for inviting me here and share a little bit of the experience we've been having, not only in Dubai, and I guess this has been a masterclass in smart city, just shared with all the background of Dubai. We believe that Dubai is very much ahead worldwide in the initiatives of smart cities, and for me, it's a great pleasure to be part of this initiative contributing. I guess for all of us, after understanding this entire background of the smart city environment, it's just opportunity. What I love about this event here is the level of energy that we bring here. I mean, I've been talking to people, and I see most of you, and I would like to ask, who here is running your own company, or you are part of a startup? Could you raise your hand? This is lovely. And this is exactly what the Smart City initiative is bringing. It's bringing a platform for all of you, all of us, to participate in a value creation that is unprecedented for the history, not only of Dubai, but many cities. Dubai is taking the route of happiness. It's really enriching the experience of the citizens, the businesses, but there are many cities worldwide, they have different ways of taking the smart city concept. And personally, I have the privilege working for SAP, it's a large international company, to follow what cities worldwide are doing. You just shared about Brazil, and I'm also from Brazil, so I see that we have huge issues in Brazil that could be solved with the usage of the data, with technology. But also see that in Nanjing, China, what we are doing to help in traffic management. And it comes to your question about technology. When we think of traffic, I mean, this is happening right now. It's live. The traffic, if you want to solve the problem of traffic, you need live, real-time capabilities. And that's where the technology really is different now. From many, many years, we had these great ideas. So the ideas are not new in terms of what can we do. Most likely, someone had these ideas before, but they couldn't deliver on those ideas. And now, with the advancement of the hardware, the software, and the capabilities that we can apply to all of this, naming artificial intelligence, data scientists that bring this data to reality in terms of understanding what is the best route, predicting if there is an issue in the next 10 minutes, so I reroute everything in real time. I mean, there is so much knowledge right now that we can bring to this ecosystem of smart cities that is really exciting me. And I only invite you that are here and listening to this to really think of how creative you can be to solve really big issues that the city is bringing. So technology is not the limit anymore. That's the only thing I can say about technology. I think what we need are people like you and me to come up with the crazy ideas, with the ideas that really are not there before and that could leverage this integrated data set in order to solve the biggest problems of our cities.
Absolutely, and I think this is why conferences like ArabNet and such gathering that brings together the ecosystem, government, private sector, entrepreneurs and startups, small, medium and enterprises, research and academia together for us to unleash the art of the possible for a smart, happy city. So my next question is about the API economy, right? Looking at this ecosystem that we have around us, how do we ensure that our API economy can actually capture all of the inputs, the innovation? What are the efforts that are currently in place to capture all of the ideas and avail the data back and forth?
All right. Now, this is an excellent question. But before I answer this, I have always to have some sandwich in between.
Okay.
How many of you are aware of Dubai Now app? I want to see some hands. How many of you use Dubai Now app? One, two. Good, alhamdulillah. So I'll have some good examples with you guys. And if you want me to show you something, I love to ask the organizer to get me iPhone connector, HDMI or VGA, so I can present something for you guys. And this is one of the excellent use cases that government of Dubai is trying to achieve. Now, the purpose of government of Dubai is not to compete with the private sector. And the reason of we are building the platform is to open APIs for everybody. Now, those APIs will be from government departments, from private sectors, and from individuals who produce data in a city. Okay? So the open data law, especially announcing and targeting those three different tiers: government department, private sector, as well as the individuals who produce data using city data, producing a value addition on top of it. Now, government department will try to minimize the cost of opening data, and most of our data as a government will be offered for free. Private sector will have a choice to offer it for free or to monetize the data because that's their right. Individuals who produce data in the city also will have that right to offer it for free and have a marketing business model on top of it, or they can also sell the data. But mandatory that everybody shares everything. Okay, there are so many levels. Now, when it comes to opening APIs, Dubai Now is an example of this. The number of government departments and some semi-private companies are participating in this Dubai Now. And how we looked at the service, we don't call them services anymore, because service or process, it has a start and end for a unified action. But we looked at it as a horizon. event horizon. So an event horizon example is when you plan to take your son for vaccination all the way to a doctor sending a sick leave for you and for your son. So that is the whole event horizon. Previously, the service was called a vaccination service, which means that I take my son, take a vaccination, and then I need to do service by service. An example of this, a vaccination, I always give this example. People who attended my sessions, they know that I love to give this example because it touches so many people in the room in here, and also it shows you how the interaction between government and non-government departments are interacting with each other using that app. When you start saying, I want to vaccinate my son or my daughter, what you need to do is, normally you call, right, to take an appointment. This is the most agony side of an appointment with a hospital or clinic, because they put you in a call center, they put you in a waiting, they transfer you, and this is for what? It is just to take an appointment. Still, I did not do anything. That is just an appointment. After you do that, you are moving from your home all the way to the hospital, and sometimes you know, sometimes you don't know that there is a traffic in front of you or not. And when you reach the hospital, you never know that you will find a parking or not. And once you are there, you never know that the doctor is busy with somebody else or lunch break or not. And after you finish with the doctor, you never know which pharmacy you need to go to get your medicine. And if you bypass that one, you never know that the teacher will accept this without stamping, and your boss also. So all of those are unknowns. People are looking at it as a block problems. But when we look at it at an event horizon. So in here, we say, okay, now if I have access to the screen, I can show you where you can immediately, once you log in, now it is semi-manual, but we are working now with the Emirates ID to integrate a family tree. So when I create a username and password for myself using my ID, and I log in to this app, Dubai Now, all of my family tree will be pulled, and it will be aggregated to my dashboard. Now, I know this is my wife, has appointment here, this is my son, school, so on and so forth. I have my dashboard, my own dashboard. I can slice it and dice it and play with it the way I want. The second thing is, when there is any appointment or a time due for your son or daughter for vaccination, the system will immediately alert you, telling you that, keep in mind that this will happen to your son. It doesn't end in here. It will pop up to you the hospital, the nearby hospitals or clinic, which has a pediatric in the area. Not only this, through the vaccination stage, it will tell you that those hospitals or clinics having this vaccination. Once you choose the hospital or clinic, you will see the array of different doctors. This is what I'm talking about is available. This is real. So if we have a connector, I can show it to you now. You will have a list of doctors who are pediatric only. Not only pediatric, they are specialized in sort of things, in that thing. Once you have this, you will have the history of that doctor. It will be pulled out from DHA database. Immediately, you will see the school that the doctor visited and studied in, a past experience. If you want to take an appointment, you click an appointment. This is not yet available. Clicking appointment, not yet available, because we want to link this with Dubai Health Authority database. But in the coming future, very coming future, when you click, you will review the doctor's calendar. Once you book appointment in the calendar, both of you will be notified of that event. And once that's happening, and especially if you for example, booked at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock morning, the system immediately will create a task in your phone alarm. Normally, you get up at 6 o'clock, but because of this, the alarm now is at 5:30. While you are asleep, the city is not. The city is hustling and bustling. It's moving, right? So while you are asleep, an accident happened in your way to the hospital. So the system will calculate the tailback time, and it will add it to the alarm. and the alarm will be adjusted. Once you get up morning, the alarm will come up, you'll get up, prepare, and moving. While you are moving, if the tailback is still there, you will be notified for the alternatives. And if the tailback is gone, then while you are moving 5 minutes away from the hospital, the parking will start talking to you. You have parking number 2. And if, for example, I have assigned parking number 2 and Alia came and she parked in parking number 2, the parking will talk to her system, telling her you have 60 seconds, 120 seconds to vacate because this parking has been allocated. If Alia is stubborn and she insisted to stay there, Mr. RTA will fine her 150 dirhams.
Now, this is an amazing explanation
Not amazing.
of the journey.
Still,
and it's good for me as well.
Still, it is not ending here.
Oh,
Okay. What I'm talking about, 85% is already live. The only missing is that 15%, which is use cases by RTA, the parking sensors, and all those things. But the rest of this are already there. Now, while you are moving, you can see, if I have a screen, access to the screen, you can see if you have any accident in front of you, not only accident, what type of accident? Is it a small minor accident, medium, or high accident? Once you reach to there, and she's stubborn, and she took my parking, the parking will calculate another place for me and will assign another parking to me. Once I'm there, the parking will talk to the doctor, telling him this is not a science fiction.
Sounds like it,
is
but
not.
it's amazing.
So the parking will talk to the doctor that Muhammad and his son are away for 3 minutes or 4 minutes away. So if you are on lunch break or if you are with another patient, finish it up. Now, the problem is when it comes to big hospitals, where can I go? Doctora, Her Excellency Dr. Aisha bin Bishar, the Director General of Dubai Smart Office.
Welcome, Dr. Aisha.
And she is the brain of looking at the whole city. Everybody will say, wow, she's good, right? But all the problem in her shoulders. Her shoulders will be really very, very heavy. So now, what will happen? Once you are in the hospital, the beacons inside the hospital will lead you, instead of asking where to go, which direction, the beacon will lead you all the way to the doctor. Once you are there, you got your treatment. Now, the doctor will give you a prescription. Once that prescription is generated, the system will find any close-by pharmacy close to you or close to your house. Now, what will happen if doctor give me 4 medicines? One pharmacy will have the first 3, but they don't have the 4th one. And you can't do this because the insurance will not reimburse them. So you need to search another one. They will say, I have 2, 3, 4, but I don't have the first one. And that's a problem. It is not the problem only taking your son. The problem is getting the medicine for your son. What will happen in this case? DHA will aggregate all the information that in that prescription to you, and it will give you 2 options. Option number 1, this is the closest pharmacy that gives all the medicine available. Do you want to pick up or you want to delivery?
Yeah, I don't know about you, Pedro, but I will download this Dubai Now app as soon as we're done with this
100%.
session.
And while you are explaining this amazing story, I was thinking why we are here together speaking to everybody. And I understand clearly. I mean, I represent a company that is pretty much doing one thing that makes this a reality. It is the integration, right? When you say that these amazing ideas that is within this story that needs to come to life, I mean, you will need to put the glue around all of this. And this is a big problem. I mean, from a city level, this problem is there. But from companies, I mean, we are working with companies like Unilever, like Shell. They are amazing. They are huge. And they have these problems because they have great ideas. Their value chain, everything that they touch in order to deliver a seamless experience as you're explaining right now. They have the ideas, but they need the technology in order to do the integration. And this is a very key point. And when I see IBM on your other side, it's also amazing because the 2 companies can provide to you this integration, analytics, all you can do with the data. When I see to the front and I see this amazing ecosystem of startups and people with creative ideas, this is part of the puzzle. I mean, all of this is what we have to unleash as a community. So we are in this together. So for many years, we've been building internal networks to manage companies, to manage governments. But what's happening right now when you hear this story is that our end user, our customers, they want to unleash what they do externally. They want to involve everybody that is around what happens to make it work. I mean, can you feel how much opportunity do we have to give them ideas, to give them integration capabilities, and make this a reality? When he says, there is just missing this link when I click and I go to the transaction, looks simple, but it's a big problem. It's a big challenge. And this is why we are here to support you. And we know that at the right moment, you will need this, and we will be there to support you. And this group here will be there to support you with the great ideas to come together with this dream becoming a reality.
Thank you, Pedro. So we have 2 minutes left, and I want to offer one startup that they think they are relevant to the Smart City initiative and vision, or that have an idea around data and the data revolution, to pitch for 30 seconds and get the panelists' feedback. Anyone who wants to volunteer, and maybe you can get my CD, it has some nice songs as a giveaway.
Not my iPhone.
Do you guys have an idea for a smart city?
Or an existing startup and you'd like feedback?
Yes.
CD. I know they're probably all busy in the Smartpreneur Challenge and announcement that is happening.
Here.
I just wanted to ask a quick question. Why is it so restricted on Dubai, even though it's so connected to the other parts of the UAE? Why does it have to be all Dubai now? Why is it not UAE now? The people are connected, and the Prime Minister's office is behind it. Then why doesn't it go all over the UAE?
Okay. There will be an UAE now. Okay? But to create a UAE now, you need to have a similar connectivity with all government, when I'm talking about federal departments. They are working extensively now, hugely, with TRA and other federal government departments. And I gave an example of us in Dubai. We are linking the My ID database with the Emirates ID, so it will foster and fast track the integration with the federal services. But we can't wait for others to come. We need to work hard, and then they will follow us, and then we'll work together.
And on top of that, not only Dubai as one of the cities, but Ras Al Khaimah, Sharjah, they are all coming with their own initiatives. And personally, I'm supporting Qatar. They also have Qatar Smart Nation as a way of unleashing these smart city initiatives. In Riyadh, they are coming up with these initiatives now. So the entire GCC is taking this as a way of unleashing the prosperity, the economical prosperity, post-oil economy. So this is a very serious topic right now.
Now, you have lots of some buzzing IT words like IT as a service, platform as a service. Very soon you will hear something like a government as a service. So this is the thing that we are thinking about right now, government as a service.
Absolutely, and that's a perfect way to close today's panel. So, Mr. Mohammed, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pedro, thank you very much, and I hope you've enjoyed this panel as much as I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.